The internet thought it knew every twist in the Chrisean Rock vs. Blueface saga, but this latest confession didn't just break the timeline, it sucker punched it. Out of nowhere, Chrisean drops a bombshell so explosive it makes the Kardashians' entire 20-year drama catalog look like a polite PTA meeting. In a moment so raw it could slice through steel, she admits she trapped Blueface, and now regrets it so badly she can barely say the words without choking on them. And the second those words left her mouth, the entire digital universe combusted. Fans froze mid-scroll. Bloggers started sweating. Drama channels clocked in early like payday came twice. Because this wasn't a rumor, a subtweet, or a shady live. This was Chrisean snatching the mic and confessing to something nobody expected her to ever admit. Her honesty hit the timeline like a wrecking ball dipped in gasoline. Suddenly all the memes, theories, and old video clips took on a whole new meaning, and the way she told it. Emotional, brutal, confusing, wildly transparent. You could literally feel the regret dripping off every syllable. If this is the opening line, imagine how chaotic the rest of the story is about to get. Trust me, you're not ready. The moment Chrisean's confession hit the internet, everything flipped like someone knocked over a table full of burning candles. You could practically feel the digital gasp as millions of people leaned closer to their screens, eyes wide, jaws dropped, and thumbs trembling over their share buttons. Nobody expected her of all people to say something so brutally honest. For years, people accused her of chaos, drama, toxicity, and mind games, but hearing her openly admit she trapped Blueface sent the entire timeline into cardiac arrest. The background to this scandal wasn't just messy, it was a full buffet of emotional wreckage. Fans had watched their entire relationship unfold like a gladiator battle filmed in 4K. There were fights, tears, tattoos, breakups, reconciliations, court cases, DNA drama, and more public meltdowns than a malfunctioning soap opera script. People joked their relationship needed its own hazard warning label. So when Chrisean admitted trapping Blueface was intentional, fans didn't just react, they detonated. According to her confession, she thought securing Blueface would stabilize their bond, fix their issues, and force commitment. In her words, she was convinced he'd finally choose her fully if they had something binding them together forever. The internet exploded into two groups instantly, Team I Knew It and Team Girl. Why would you say that out loud? Screenshots shot across platforms faster than rumors in a group chat. People dissected every syllable of her confession like they were analyzing ancient treasure maps. And then came the leaked clip, the moment that built the entire scandal into a wildfire. Chrisean was seen crying during a conversation with a friend, admitting she regrets everything about trying to trap him. She said it backfired in ways she never imagined, creating more chaos, more heartbreak, and more emotional wounds than she ever prepared for. Fans watched the clip like they were witnessing a celebrity exorcism. She didn't look proud or victorious, she looked crushed. The internet immediately resurrected every moment where it seemed like Chrisean was clinging to Blueface despite their toxic explosions. People replayed old interviews, lives, arguments, and viral moments through a brand new lens. Suddenly, everything had deeper meaning. The puzzle pieces everyone ignored began connecting themselves into one giant neon sign saying, "This was never going to end well." Even people who once defended her were shocked by the rawness of her regret. Of course, Blueface reacted exactly how the internet expected: loud, petty, and with the emotional sensitivity of a dropped brick. He jumped online within minutes, throwing shade, posting laughing emojis, and talking like he was shocked the sky was blue. He practically celebrated her confession, acting like it validated every petty thing he ever said. His comments were so messy and sarcastic that fans joked he typed them with firecracker fingers. Meanwhile, Chrisean's emotional breakdown hit fans in a way that shook the timeline. She admitted she was operating from a place of insecurity, fear, and desperation, hoping binding him would make her feel chosen, loved, and protected, three things he rarely provided. Hearing her voice crack as she spoke about wanting something to hold on to gutted people. For the first time, her tough exterior cracked publicly, revealing a deeply wounded girl underneath the fighter persona. Suddenly, people who mocked her for years sat in silence. Users who turned her relationship into memes felt uneasy. Even drama channels who made weekly episodes about their chaos paused for a moment of moral reflection. The vulnerability she showed wasn't entertainment, it was a cry from someone who realized her plan didn't just fail. It self-destructed. The first major wave of reactions came from women who had been in similar situations. Comment sections filled with stories of trying to hold on to toxic partners, believing a baby would fix everything, or thinking love could override compatibility. The internet turned into a confessional booth. People empathized, saying they understood the emotional spiral she fell into. Others criticized her harshly, saying she should have known better. The debates became so heated it felt like TikTok turned into a courtroom with millions of judges. Then the second wave of reactions hit, people questioning how long she had been pretending everything was fine. Users posted timelines showing how she defended their relationship, denied toxicity, and portrayed confidence even when Blueface publicly disrespected her. The confession exposed a deeper layer. She had been battling insecurity while the world watched her act fearless. Even more shocking was her admitting she regrets trapping him because it trapped herself instead. She confessed she became chained to a situation she couldn't escape, a man who didn't love her the way she hoped, and a narrative she didn't know how to rewrite. Regret poured from her like a confession she'd been holding behind her teeth for months. Fans weren't prepared for that level of emotional honesty. The leaked audio where she said, "I thought I would win him, but I only lost myself," left timelines in shambles. People replayed it hundreds of times, stunned at how bluntly she summarized her downfall. Bloggers called it the most vulnerable moment of her career. Even Blueface loyalists admitted the statement hit like a gut punch, but the confession didn't just expose her regret, it exposed their entire relationship foundation. Fans began questioning whether anything between them had ever been genuine. Was any of it real? Was she ever loved? Was he ever faithful? The internet started quilting together every red flag like a chaotic investigation board with strings connecting every messy moment. Within hours, Chrisean's confession became the biggest scandal on social media. Memes flooded timelines. Edits went viral. Influencers made videos crying, laughing, ranting, analyzing, decoding, and dramatically reenacting her confession like they were auditioning for a Netflix documentary. And in the middle of all this noise stood Chrisean, regretting choices she never thought she'd have to explain to the world. Her confession didn't just shock people, it humanized her. It exposed her heartbreak. It cracked open her emotional reality. It revealed the truth behind years of chaos. And most importantly, it set the stage for the most unhinged reactions the celebrity world has seen all year. The moment Chrisean's confession spread, the internet combusted like someone threw a torch into a room full of gasoline-soaked gossip blogs. This wasn't a soft update, a subtle hint, or a cryptic tweet you had to decode. This was a full confession, raw and unfiltered, and celebrities reacted like they'd just seen a reality TV twist live on stage. Some whispered sympathy, others pretended to be shocked, and a few couldn't resist dropping shady comments disguised as advice. Suddenly, everyone believed they were qualified relationship analysts. The first wave of celebrity reactions came from people who know drama better than their own birthdays. Reality stars hopped onto Instagram Lives, claiming they saw it coming from day one, even though they spent months clowning her like everyone else. Influencers posted lengthy emotional paragraphs that suspiciously read like they were written by AI, complete with generic lines like "healing isn't linear and your truth matters." Fans dragged them instantly, asking them to stop acting like motivational speakers with ring lights. But the messiest reactions came from rappers who couldn't resist turning the scandal into content. One posted laughing emojis. Another tweeted, "Trap season went wrong. How?" The entire hip-hop side of Twitter turned into a digital roast session. People compared the relationship to a boomerang that kept coming back even after everyone picked it to stay gone. They joked that Chrisean and Blueface needed a therapist, a referee, and a Bible study group all at once. Meanwhile, meme creators were working overtime like they were trying to win Employee of the Month. They edited Chrisean confessing in a courtroom with Judge Judy hitting the gavel. Others posted images of Blueface sitting in a therapist's chair looking confused with captions like, "So you mean I didn't imagine the chaos?" TikTokers reenacted her confession with dramatic lighting and dollar store wigs. It was entertainment at its most chaotic, disrespectful, and hilarious. But the internet didn't stop at jokes. People began analyzing the psychological layers of the confession like it was a college thesis. TikTok therapists explained the dangers of emotional desperation. YouTube commentators made hour-long breakdowns with titles like "The Trap That Trapped Them Both." Twitter philosophers typed dissertations trying to diagnose every interaction between Chrisean and Blueface since 2021. Everyone suddenly became an expert, and the echo chamber grew louder than ever. Then came the plot twist nobody expected. Celebrities who once defended Blueface began turning on him subtly. They questioned why he mocked Chrisean's mental health so often. They pointed out how emotionally messy their relationship became publicly because he didn't step up. Some even said her confession revealed deeper emotional imbalance he ignored. The shift was small but noticeable, like the internet taking a collective step back and reevaluating everything they once laughed at. Meanwhile, the Chrisean fandom exploded with passion. They insisted her confession wasn't manipulation, it was growth. They claimed she was finally freeing herself. They defended her posts, her voice cracks, her regrets, and her truth. They promoted healing, posting edits of her smiling, working, and evolving. In their eyes, the confession wasn't scandal, it was redemption. Suddenly, she wasn't the villain of her own story. She was the exhausted heroine trying to escape a chaotic cycle. Of course, not everyone was convinced. Critics called it damage control. They said she was trying to rewrite history before Blueface dropped his own expose. They accused her of playing with public sympathy, especially after years of defending decisions that made zero sense to anyone with a functioning brain cell. These critics didn't hold back, they dissected her confession line by line, pointing out contradictions like they were building a case for trial. In the middle of this digital war, Blueface didn't stay silent for long. He started posting cryptic messages, claiming her regret came too late, and hinting he had his own truth coming soon. People instantly assumed he was preparing a counterattack. His body language in recent clips didn't help either. He looked irritated, smug, and ready to milk the moment. Fans predicted he'd drop receipts, shade, or a diss track by the end of the week. Then the drama reached a whole new level when someone leaked a second clip, Chrisean admitting that trapping him made her lose herself more than she lost him. She looked exhausted, emotionally drained, and painfully aware of how much she sacrificed. Fans cried. Critics paused. Even trolls got quiet for a moment. The confession wasn't comedic, it was heartbreaking. Her voice cracked like she was finally releasing pain she'd been swallowing for years. The emotional weight of her words sent shockwaves across social media. People started posting support videos. Mothers shared clips saying they understood the desperation behind decisions made out of fear and insecurity. Young women admitted they'd done similar things in toxic relationships. Men chimed in too, sharing stories of being trapped, confused, manipulated, and overwhelmed. The confession created a surprising wave of raw honesty across the internet. But with honesty came backlash. People reminded the timeline of the chaos Chrisean and Blueface caused together. They questioned whether regret absolved the past. They revisited violent incidents, shouting matches, social media brawls, and court appearances. The internet remembered everything. And they weren't sure one confession could rewrite years of destruction. Then came the next twist. Blueface's mother, Carlissa, inserted herself like she was auditioning for a new season of the drama. She posted shading Chrisean, claiming the confession was too little too late and calling it another manipulation tactic. The internet dragged Carlissa instantly, telling her to focus on her own issues instead of narrating her son's relationship like she was a paid commentator. The memes about her were brutal. In the middle of all this chaos, something unexpected happened. Compassion started outweighing criticism. People began acknowledging the emotional damage both Blueface and Chrisean inflicted on each other. They talked about the dysfunction, the insecurities, the trauma, and the toxic patterns that drove their entire relationship. It became clear the confession wasn't a punchline, it was a cry for healing. But the biggest shock of all was yet to come. A close friend of Chrisean revealed that she'd been wanting to leave the relationship for months but didn't know how. They said she felt locked into a narrative she couldn't escape, trapped by her own decisions and the public eye watching her every move. This revelation cracked open a new discussion. Was the trap really for him or for herself? By the end of the day, the internet had turned the scandal into a full-blown emotional autopsy. Every reaction, every comment, every meme reflected a different side of the chaos. It wasn't just a confession, it was a cultural earthquake. One that left fans wondering if this was her truth. What truth was Blueface still hiding? As the shockwaves from Chrisean's confession continued to ripple across the internet, the aftermath took on a life of its own. What started as a viral moment had now morphed into a national conversation about regret, accountability, manipulation, trauma, and the terrifying consequences of decisions made in desperation. Suddenly, her confession wasn't just gossip, it became the backbone of a cultural debate bigger than the scandal itself. Comment sections turned into therapy circles. Podcasts scrambled to analyze every syllable. Even news sites that normally covered politics dipped their toes into the drama pool. But while the internet was busy dissecting her emotional collapse, Chrisean herself seemed to retreat. Her posts grew softer, slower, and more introspective. She didn't rant. She didn't clap back. She didn't attack anyone. It was like the confession drained the chaos out of her. Fans noticed instantly. They said she looked tired, not physically, but emotionally, like someone who had been carrying a heavy secret for too long. For once, she wasn't fighting the world. She was fighting herself. And then the consequences began to surface. Brand deals quietly paused. Reality producers hesitated. PR teams watched carefully. Even her supporters, while empathetic, debated how much responsibility she carried for the chaos that followed. Her confession wasn't just an admission, it was a mirror reflecting everything she'd tried to outrun. All the pain, insecurity, arguments, and toxic patterns didn't look like entertainment anymore. They looked like wounds she never healed. Meanwhile, Blueface predictably saw the confession as a golden opportunity to weaponize the moment. His posts grew more sarcastic. His commentary became more smug. He threw shade like he was paid by the pound. He reminded the internet of every moment she caused chaos. He used her confession as proof he was right all along, but fans weren't fully buying it. Many called out his hypocrisy. Others questioned if he was hiding behind humor to avoid his own accountability. The internet dragged him more aggressively than he expected. Even more shocking was how quickly karmic energy shifted the narrative around him. Suddenly, people remembered his own toxicity, his disrespect, his manipulation, his public humiliation of Chrisean, his pattern of stirring chaos and then blaming others for reacting. Fans began connecting dots they ignored before. And the story started tilting away from her regret and toward their dysfunction. The internet realized both sides contributed to the destruction. Then came the biggest twist of the aftermath. People started talking about growth. Not fake growth, not PR growth. Actual messy, painful, uncomfortable growth. Chrisean's confession forced her to confront the emotional damage she inflicted and endured. It wasn't just about trapping him. It was about trying to trap stability, love, and security she never had. People began sympathizing with her wounds rather than her mistakes. They saw a girl raised in chaos trying to create love out of fire. And fire burned her back. Support grew louder. Women shared their own confessions. Men admitted they'd been manipulated or trapped too. Relationship experts posted videos explaining how toxic cycles trap both partners in emotional cages. It became a rare moment where the internet chose empathy over mockery. For once, they didn't want to watch her fall. They wanted to see her rise. But with every rise, someone always tries to drag you back down. Enter Carlos again. She posted a rant accusing Chrisean of lying, manipulating the internet, and only confessing because she needed sympathy. Her attempt to jump into the spotlight backfired instantly. Fans dragged her with the force of 1,000 commentators. They told her she had no room to talk when she spent years interfering, instigating, and antagonizing her son's relationships. They accused her of turning every scandal into an audition tape. The dragging was so intense her comments section needed therapy. Meanwhile, the emotional devastation inside Chrisean's circle was becoming undeniable. Friends said privately that she'd been crying for days, reflecting on every choice she made. She questioned why she stayed so long, why she tolerated so much disrespect, why she believed a baby or a bond could heal everything. Her regret wasn't shallow, it was deep, raw, and frighteningly honest. Blueface's predictable response didn't help. He mocked her. He posted cryptic shade. He weaponized her regret to boost his ego. But fans noticed something important: his jokes didn't land the same way anymore. The internet wasn't laughing with him. They were uncomfortable. They saw a man gloating while a woman emotionally unraveled. They saw someone celebrating her pain instead of acknowledging his own part in the destruction. His persona started shifting from chaotic entertainer to insensitive antagonist. Then came the emotional punch nobody was prepared for. A leaked message showed Chrisean telling a friend, "I wish I loved myself enough to leave sooner." Those words shattered the internet. People cried. People related. People paused the jokes. People saw the girl behind the mess. Her confession wasn't just about trapping Blueface. It was about finally breaking free from the mental trap she built for herself. And the aftermath only grew heavier. Her fans rallied around her like an army. They begged her to heal. They encouraged therapy. They reminded her of her worth. They helped shift the narrative from scandal to survival. They said she wasn't a villain, she was a victim of her own emotional battles. And for once, the internet didn't fight them. They agreed. But make no mistake, this storm is far from over. Blueface hasn't dropped his side. Carlissa still has Wi-Fi access. Drama pages are watching every move. And the internet is glued to the edge of their screens waiting for the next explosion. Because when someone like Chrisean Rock opens the door to her deepest regret, you can bet that the next chapter is in peace. It's the beginning of a brand new war. And if you made it this far through one of the wildest emotional roller coasters Chrisean Rock has ever unleashed, congratulations, you officially survived a storyline even Zeus Network producers couldn't script on their best day. This confession didn't just shake the internet. It body slammed the entire timeline and left everyone sitting in stunned silence, clutching their phones like a season finale just punched them in the chest. But trust me, this saga is nowhere near done. If you think this was the peak, the next chapter is probably already warming up backstage before the next confession. Meltdown, clapback, or leaked clip breaks your sleep schedule at 3 a.m. Smash that like button like you're trying to delete your ex's number for the 15th time. Hit subscribe with the energy of someone trying to shut a toxic chapter forever. And turn on notifications, because this page doesn't drop updates softly, we drop them like grenades with glitter. You do not want to miss the next explosion when it hits. Now jump into the comments and unload your thoughts. Do you feel for Chrisean? Do you think Blueface is hiding his own regrets? Do you think both of them need therapy, prayer, or a Netflix documentary? Whatever your theory is, don't hold back, drop it like you're filing an emotional police report. This comment section is about to be louder than their entire relationship history. And remember, here on this channel, we don't just report celebrity chaos, we amplify it, unravel it, exaggerate it, season it, and serve it hotter than the truth can handle. New scandals land here first, get roasted here hardest, and explode here biggest. This is Celeb Insanity, where drama lives, breathes, and never sleeps.